Okay, so welcome to councillors and welcome to staff and those joining online and in the public gallery today. Please note that today's meeting is being live streamed and can be viewed by the general public via Council's Facebook page and later uploaded to Council's website. By participating in and addressing those present at the meeting, you consent to any information you disclose, including any personal information or sensitive information, being recorded and uploaded to the website. I'll invite Councillor Ryan to read our acknowledgement of country today.
Thank you, Mayor. We acknowledge the Karay-Warong people as the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay our respects to elders past and present. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here in the gallery and watching on the live stream.
Thanks, Councillor Ryan. We don't have any apologies today, Ms. Deverstone. No? Councillors, does anybody intend to declare any conflict of interest this afternoon? Before we do get into the agenda proper, we have had a couple of notable residents who have passed away recently. And Councillor Lockett, I wondered if you might pay some homage to those people, please.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, councillors, those listening and present in the gallery. I'd like to do a big shout out and pay a huge respect to Albert L.B. Clark, who passed away recently. I had the pleasure of meeting Albie, welcoming into his home in 2016 when I first got onto council, and he's got more awards and medals than most sports clubs have. He an amazing individual. He's had bright blue hair and he's a real character and a real advocate for Indigenous health. But he had some health troubles earlier on in his life, and he turned to fitness as a way to kind of reinvigorate. He used to ride about 150 k's a day. He did boxing, cycling, running. He was in ultra marathons. When in his 70s, he was doing ultra marathons. He was still running up till he was, I think, 90 when he passed away. An amazing advocate. He was an awarded Victorian Senior of the Year in 2010. And it's often famously said about his mischievous grin. He always had a big mischievous grin and rode around town, drove around town as well with his, Aboriginal flags all over his car. He's a really strong advocate, and obviously the community are deep in mourning at the moment. So I really wanted to do a big shout out to Albie Clark. Also, another significant member of our community has passed away recently, Jim Kent, who's the similarities they both share is their commitment to the community, but having a smile on your face. It sounds like a small thing, but both of these men would always have a smile on their face, always had a big smile on his face. So Jim, had recent health troubles, but you'd still see him down the street and he always had a really big grin on his face. And I think that says a lot about the character of both of these individuals. So Jim, he was a volunteer in many different organisations at Moyne Health Service, the Lions Club in Port Fairy, the SES Port Fairy Unit, Port Fairy Folk Festival, Port Fairy Bowls Club. He was an amazing community man and he'll be missed by many. And as I said before, he always had a big smile on his face. And we often speak about volunteering. He was a true community man and community member. So just a big shout out to both of those families and the communities that they support.
Yeah, thank you. Well said. Thank you, Councillor Lockett.
And Mayor, thank you. I'd like to support Councillor Lockett in those words, those two great men. And I'd also like to mention the passing by assassination of Charlie Kirk. It'll be a huge blow to democracy throughout the world. So very sad to see that somebody's taken the stupid step to assassinate one of the greatest Americans that we've seen. So condolences to his family and the United States.
Thank you, Councillor Durkis. Okay, we'll now move to the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on the 26th of August 2025. First of all, is there any discussion from councillors? Everyone's comfortable with those minutes. So I'll now call for a mover to confirm that they are a true and accurate record. Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Second, please. Well, Councillor Lockett, thank you. All those in favour? That's carried 7-0. I'm now going to call for a motion to suspend standing orders so that we can hear our solo public participant today. Thank you, Councillor Murray. Seconded, Councillor Taylor. Those in favour? Thank you. That's carried 7-0. So now I'll invite Ms. Jackie Gale to come and join us. Ms. Gale, we've got 5 minutes for your presentation, after which, if you're comfortable, we'll have time for questions from councillors. Great, thank you.
Yes, Jim, I'd like to also add to what you said with Charlie Kirk. He was someone that spoke out quite a lot, challenging a lot of the, I guess, what we would call over here woke tendencies in the university. So I think he was someone that was giving the young people over there a different, I guess, or bringing them the truth, where there was a lot of, you would call it, so I wanted to spend all my time on this, but because he was bringing, Elon Musk said it himself. He said, Charlie Kirk was spreading light. He literally said the darkness did not like that, so they took him out. So which I thought was, I think a lot of different things about Elon Musk, but I thought that was actually well described. So I guess I came back today. Apologies, I wasn't able to be here when Jim put the rescindment forward, and that I saw was rejected. So I came back in regards to that. I also wanted to, Councillor Murray, she asked me a question when I was here last, and the question was, why should Christianity be the, her words, like she said, the favoured religion? And anyway, my husband was quite annoyed with me when I left, because he goes, that is so easy. Like, you could have answered that one easy. And it's because Christianity was the religion that built our country. And as he said, I was just on the phone to him before I came to the meeting, and he said, you go around all the local towns. Every town has a church, multiple churches, little churches that everyone attended. Well, not everyone, but a majority of people did attend. And I myself, through doing my own research, found that I come from Narrawong, and I actually found that the primary school that I went to, the Narrawong Primary School, and I'm also attend a Presbyterian church. And I found out that the Presbyterian church actually established the first schools here in Australia. So one of which was at the Narrawong, part of the Narrawong, what's now the Narrawong store, that actually my ex-husband has purchased. And I sent him the information. I was like, wow. So the connections there, that they, it was the Sisters of, I'm going to get this wrong, but obviously they were Catholic nuns, Sisters of Mercy, I think, that opened up the first hospital in Australia. So my eyes, I mean, I'm grateful for this, because I'm actually learning so much about our history that, so I'm grateful for that. So that, I guess, is my answer to that question. I then came, got my notes here. I came to support Jim as a brother or sister in Christ. And seeing him surrounded by people who someone who was sitting on this side at the meeting that I was here said, I think it was Susan, said, it's a battle, we're in a war. And she's correct. Someone shot her down and said, no, well, not shot her down, but they actually said, oh, no, we're not. But we are. There is a spiritual battle that goes on for everyone's souls. And the battle is, whether you realise it or not, the battle is real. And actually in the spirit realm is more real than what's in the physical. So give me a moment, or I think I'm going to say, but there is a battle, and we had, our own battle. That's 4 minutes? Okay, all right. What I'm noticing, well, actually what I'll do, I'm going to close that, because what I thought I would do is I brought my Bible today, and I was going to read a little bit of God's word. So the Lord says, I will teach you the way you should go. I will instruct you and advise you. Don't be stupid like a horse or a mule, which must be bridled with a bit So it must be controlled with a bit and bridle to make it submit. The wicked will have to suffer, but those who trust in the Lord are protected by his constant love. You that are righteous, be glad and rejoice because of what the Lord has done. You that obey him, shout for joy. The words of the Lord are true, and these are the words of the Lord. The Lord Jesus Christ is the word, is a book. He was a man who came to this earth. He was God. He was also a man. He's also this book.
Gail, that's 5 minutes now.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Now, I take it you were referring to an item from the July council meeting, which involved a decision to remove the prayer from a formal council agenda.
That's correct, yes.
Sure. Thank you. Do we have any questions for Ms. Gale today, please? Councillor Ryan.
Through you, Mayor, thank you. I note that the address you've provided to be here today shows that you don't reside in the Moyne Shire and that your own council chose to remove the prayer in 2024 based on the potential human rights breaches. Could you explain why you have a particular interest in Moyne's approach to this matter, considering we seem to be a shire where you don't reside?
Yes, definitely. I actually lived in Croydon for 10 years. So
Currently?
no, not currently. No, and it was actually through Facebook that I saw that the Moyne Shire was removing prayer from council. So that's why I attended this meeting, and through then finding out actually that my own council where I live had previously removed prayer about 2 months previous to that. So that has actually got me thinking I might attend one of their meetings as well. Yeah, does that answer your question or?
It does, but I just don't understand the relevance of you being here today, considering we make decisions for Moyne Shire residents and not the wider residents in other shires.
Oh, okay. Well, I still have family that live here. So, yeah, so although I've moved away, I still have family members that live in Warrnambool and actually in Croydon too. So,
Do you have a follow-up question?
Sure, that's fine, Councillor Ryan.
And when you say Christianity built our country, how do you reconcile with that First Nations culture and spirituality that existed for tens of thousands of years before colonisation?
So, very easily, because the Bible talks about, you're talking about the Aboriginal spirituality?
Yes.
Right.
First Nations people.
Well, there's actually Aboriginals themselves that have become Christians, and they'll quite openly tell you that Aboriginal Christians will tell you that the religion of Aboriginals, that their ceremonies and that are actually worshipping demons. So it's actually quite easy. You'll find it in God's word.
Ms. Gale?
Pardon?
Do you have evidence of that, Ms. Gale?
Do I have evidence of that?
You can't make those comments if you don't have evidence to back you up.
I'm not in the law of court. I'm not a court, am I? So
It's a strong statement to make, that's all I say.
I'm saying that there are Aboriginals who become Christians, and they themselves will tell you on a spiritual level that when they do their smoking ceremonies, they're invoking spirits that are not of God. Does that make it clearer? Or
So you're passing on from others.
that's right? Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Are there any other questions, councillors? Councillor Dookie?
Thank you, Ms. Gale. The Shire, or some of the councillors on the Shire, decided to get rid of the prayer. Would getting rid of the prayer, which is, I believe, a Christian prayer, and some of us might just consider it a prayer, but do you see people that deliberately go out to cancel our Christianity being those doing the work of the devil?
100%, because you're either a child of God, like if you believe God's word, you're either a child of God, which means you're born again, you're born into God's family, or you're a child of the devil. It's one or the other. So if you're the child of the devil, you are easily deceived. You can be easily the tool of the devil because you're ignorant. Well, some people do know. That's why you've got occultists, you've got Satanists. Some of them, they're obvious ones. You've got New Age, you've got plenty of things. But yes, the answer is yes. Yeah, people can be the tool of the devil. Who knows?
All right, okay. Are there any final questions, Ms. Gale? Yes, Councillor Murray.
Through you, more a statement. I don't like being likened to working for the devil. You have the fortune of being born in this country, and that being your sacred text and the word of the God. If you were born in a different country, it would be the Quran, the Torah. Christianity to the exclusion of all other religions. We are not taking a religion from you. We are becoming a more inclusive place for everybody in our community. Thank you.
Okay, so we will move on there. So thank you for coming to today, Ms. Gale, for speaking to this matter. I'll just say again, you are aware that it has been dealt with. So the decision, yes. So that's it. We have made that decision. So thank you for your time today. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Now I'll call for a motion to resume standing orders. Thank you, Councillor Murray, seconded by Councillor Lockett. All those in favour? Is carried 7-0. We move to item 2.1, council open statement, and I'll call on our Acting Director of Corporate and Governance, Ms. Lisa Regent, please, to introduce this to us.
Thank you. So this item provides a recommendation to council to adopt a secular opening statement. This item follows a decision in July, as mentioned, relating to removing the prayer from the beginning of the ordinary and special council meetings, and subsequent request for the CEO to bring back a secular statement of values. This statement reads as follows: that as councillors, we recognise the responsibilities we carry and are guided by the values of service, respect and integrity. Good decision making requires transparency, accountability and behaviours that uphold the trust placed in us as elected representatives of the community we serve. This is recommended to be adopted by council.
Thank you very much, Ms. Regent. Opportunity for questions now from councillors. We don't have questions. We do have an officer recommendation there, as Ms. Regent's just outlined. I'm seeking a mover. Thank you, Councillor Lockett. Seconded, Councillor Ryan. Councillor Lockett, to you as the mover.
Thank you, Mayor. We've had a good discussion on this a couple of times at workshop. I think we were well as a team. But, you know, to flesh out, if you like, the statement, I think it's short, sharp, and a great reminder of why we're here. Thank you, Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Lockett. Second,
I reserve my right. Thank you.
second. Other councillors wanting to speak for or against this motion?
And
Yes.
can I have a clarification, please?
Yes, you can.
On where it says here, values of service, guided by values of service, could you somehow explain to me what you meant by values of service?
Well, I guess, Councillor Dugas, you were with us when the workshop is, so that was, we all agreed that those.
No,
values-
that hasn't answered my questions. I want a definition of values of service. Just because it's been workshop doesn't mean that all the answers were given. Can someone tell me what is meant when we sitting here making decisions on behalf of the community, guided by values of service? Some people might have no values of service.
Councillor
For
Ryan.
you, Mark, can most definitely speak to that. As a local council, we offer many services across our shire that you are completely aware of, and that we are guided by that good service delivery within those services, which is also undertaking those services with respect and integrity. That's underpins every single bit of work this council does within the community. So I'm not really sure how there's a question there, to be honest. And you're in the room at every opportunity to talk through this
Which room are you talking about?
workshop.
What's that got to do with today's council meeting?
So I'll ask you to go through the chair.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, what's the workshop discussion got to do with today? We all know that questions and debate should be taken at a council meeting.
Could hesitate a response to your question, which was, what does the value of service mean? I think in this context, it means we as councillors are in service to our community. We're here as public servants, if you like. We're here to service our community. It may mean different things to different councillors, though. I won't hesitate to put that in there as well. So is there, I don't know if that answers your
No,
question.
that's fair enough. Yep.
Okay, thank you. You have already.
Yeah.
Unless you want to.
No, I was just going to reiterate the same thing. That's how I read it as well.
Sure.
To us as councillors, service to the community.
I will remind councillors, this is our statement as a group of councillors. This is not, we're not asking our organisation to swear to this. This is a statement we make as councillors before each meeting. That's the intent of it, to set the tone, to remind us of why we're here and to ground us. So I'll just remind councillors of that. So again, I'll ask again, any councillors who want to speak for or against this motion? Councillor Murray.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. I think that 7 very different people coming together to settle on something, I think it's a really nice statement. It's what we set out to achieve. I'm sure that there will be things in there that, I would like to have bolstered it a little. I'm sure there'd be bits that people want to take out, but overall, I think we've done a really good job in getting 7 very different ideas and opinions of how we would like something to be or how we would like it to read. And I think that it is a good thing for our community to know that we are reiterating this to ourselves and to the community every month when we sit at our council meetings. I think it's so yeah, for that reason, I'm in support of it.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Any other councillors wanting to speak for or against?
It's an opening statement, and in 4 years' time, it could possibly change. So, but as a councillors, we've got to work together, and that's what we've come up with. I'm happy to support it.
Thank you, Councillor Ross. No other councillors want to speak for or against? I'll come back to you. Reserved your right. Second.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. I endorse the adoption of this secular statement. As councillors, we've already workshopped this matter thoroughly, with every member provided the opportunity to voice their perspectives, questions and concerns in that forum. The statement before us reflects the outcomes of that process, and endorsing it today is about providing clarity and how we move forward as a council that is more inclusive. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. And back to you as the mover of the motion, Councillor Moyne.
Mayor couldn't have summed it up better than Councillor Ryan just did. So encourage councillors to be in favour of supporting this motion. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Lockett. Let's put this to the vote. All those in favour, please. Thank you. That is Councillors Taylor, Murray, Ryan, Lockett, Foster and Ross. All those against? Councillor Dukas. Thank you, councillors. We move to item 2.2, council submission to planning permit application PA 25035552, Swanson's Lane Wind Farm in Garbrock. And I'll invite our Director of Environment, Economy and Place, Ms Jodie McNamara, through this, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, we have been notified of an application for a renewable energy facility at Swanson's Lane, New Garbrock. The proposal does include 5 turbines within the property, which does border across Moyne and Corangamite Shires. After consideration of the documentation, we do have a recommendation to provide an objection to the proposal and forward that to the Minister for Planning. The concerns that we have outlined are included within the report, but do include community engagement and lack thereof, proximity to the Garbrock Township within high quality productive agricultural land, and also outside the recently exhibited Southwest Renewable Energy Zone. Amongst other things, we feel that community benefits could also be better articulated. The content of the objection does also align with what we believe to be concerns of the community that have also been conveyed to the Minister or the Department. We have included also a second part of the recommendation, which is to join with Corangamite Mayor in a letter to the Minister for Planning outlining similar concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms McNamara. Questions in relation to this item? Yes, Councillor Taylor.
Mayor. So my question was just regarding whether the statement is a strong enough objection to the plan, the proposed wind farm.
Through Mayor, thank you, Councillor Taylor. The form of an objection is, in our opinion, strong. Previous proposals that we have provided a submission on has been termed a submission rather than objection. And we have, I guess, included very substantiated documentation and evidence within the objection to support that. We are more than available to enhance that if that's what councillors wish, but we do feel that objection is quite a strong word in this. So,
Thanks, Ms McNamara. Are you comfortable with that?
Yes.
Councillor Taylor? Yep, thank you. Any other questions? If not, we have the officer recommendation before us in two parts and looking for a movement. Councillor Dukas,
Yes, I'd like to move, Madam Mayor, with a small addition.
go right ahead.
And Ms McNamara has the wording there that we discussed earlier, which is,
through you, Mayor, I believe Councillor Dukas was intending to introduce the wording outside of the renewable energy zone in the second component of the recommendation.
Is that what you're intending to?
I believe so. So after Coringamite Shire, we add outside the renewable energy zone. Everyone
At the end of the sentence?
believes so.
In the Moyne Shire, the Moyne and Coringamite Shires, is that
That are outside.
that are outside? Okay, thank you. So you've moved that, Councillor Dukas?
Yes, thank you.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Ryan. Thank you. Councillor Dukas.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Not much more to be said on this. We've got, I believe, over 100 submissions going into the minister. Both councils are in opposition to it. The report highlights all the negativity to it. And I just hope that going forward that the government read our letters of objection, read what we've said, read what the residents and other objectors are saying, and use a bit of common sense. This is just a silly proposal. 5 turbines, just outside of Garbuck that serves no useful purpose at all. It's disappointing that it actually got this far. So with Moyne Shire support and Coringamite support, let's hope common sense prevails. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Dukas. Councillor Ryan is the second.
Thanks. Through you, Mayor. This objection shows where we stand as a council to protect community amenity, agricultural land and road safety, while strengthening council's credibility as a fair but rigorous participant in renewable energy planning, particularly as this wind farm is proposed outside that southwest renewable energy zone. Does it make sense? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Any other councillors who'd like to speak for or against? Councillor Locke.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have not much too different to add. I agree with both councillors' statements so far. What's the point of having a renewable energy zone if they're not going to stick to it? Like, I think it's a bit of a slap in the face from the state government that great idea having renewable energy zones, but if they're not going to stick to them, there's no point having them. As Ms McNamara said, this prime agricultural land, the proximity to the Garbuck town, and again, the kind of outside the renewable energy zone is, as Councillor Dukas said, common sense, but maybe common sense isn't that common. So hopefully we can see common sense coming back on the table. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Moffat. Councillor Murray.
Through you, Mayor. Similar sentiment. We've been asking the state government for a long time for some strategic long-term planning around renewable energy. So to bring in the renewable energy zones, it's more than just about where the wind farms are built. It's also strategic documents for the grid, how the power is actually fed to the grid, and the transmission lines, which we all know are a big factor and are a big eyesore, I guess. This sets a ridiculous precedent. We didn't have the zones before. We have them now. I don't feel we should ever be approving any renewable energy projects outside of those zones. Otherwise, they are a completely useless thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Any other councillors? Councillor Ross.
I'd just like to back up Councillor Dukas's words and note the objection. It's an objection. and thank the officers for their work that they've done.
Agreed. Thank you. If no one else wants to speak for or against, I'll return to you as the mover.
No need.
Okay,
Madam
let's
Mayor.
pop this one to the vote. All those in favour, please. That is carried 7-0. Item 2.3, the Council Community Carbon Offset Program for 2025-26. And Ms McNamara, back to you again on this one.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, the Community Carbon Offset Program 2025-26 grant is included within this report to be approved and awarded to the successful applicants. We have had a really good response this year with 2 from the public lands component, and we've had 11 applicants on private lands. It is a really good opportunity for landowners to bolster their tree planting, and the money does go towards offsetting fencing of the trees and that sort of thing. We do recommend that the grant monies be issued. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms McNamara. A great program. Do we have questions? Councillors? No? Okay. So the recommendation does set out 11 applicants there. So I'm seeking a mover for that. Thank you, Councillor Murray. Seconded. Councillor Ryan. Thank you. Councillor Murray.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a great program and I'm happy that we do it. I'm glad we do it.
Thank you. And Councillor Ryan.
Thanks, Mayor. And this is a great way to show community partnerships, particularly in our sustainability space, and giving that opportunity for our community to take the lead as well. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other councillors who'd like to speak for or against? No, if not, I'll return to you as the mover of the motion. Councillor Murray. No, let's put that to the vote. All those in favour? That is carried 7-0. Thank you, councillors. Item 2.4, the footpath decal policy. Ms McNamara, would you please introduce this one for us?
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, the footpath decal policy is a new policy in front of councillors for consideration. It's an emerging issue or trend where event organisers and community groups are utilising our footpaths for advertising, which is great. They do add colour and vibrancy to our town centres. We do want to make sure that they're done right and fair throughout all of Moyne Shire on our footpaths. It's probably one of the first of its kind that we know of, and we do recommend that council adopt the policy with probably an understanding that it's new, so we will take learnings and there may be opportunity to refine this.
Thank you very much, Ms McNamara. Councillors, are there questions around this one? No? Okay, we've got the recommendation there that we adopt the new footpath decal policy. Do we have a mover? Thanks, Councillor Murray. Seconded. Councillor Lockett. Thanks, Councillor Murray.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. I didn't know what a footpath decal was until about 18 months ago when they started popping up on the streets, and they're really cool. I think they're a really clever and a good way to advertise events. I like that our community have done this, and we've now I guess come on board to make it a little bit boring for them and in having to fill out maybe another form, but it is necessary. You don't want them to they lose their effectiveness if the street's just covered in decals. But happy to support this. As Ms McNamara mentioned, it is potentially the first of its kind, definitely in the area that we're in. So we will adjust it as needed, but I think it looks pretty solid.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with Councillor Murray's comments. I want to congratulate the officers, not only on the policy, but on, I think they've done a really good job in managing it so far. Because when I first saw them, I was like, oh, these are cool, but I bet you someone gets irritated by them. And I think there's been minimal feedback about them being inappropriate or anything. I think they do a great advertisement it's not slippery or anything. It's just that I think it's something we need a policy for, but they've done a really good job managing it. without a policy. Just wanted to acknowledge them in that space. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Lockett. Any other councillors want to speak for or against? No, nothing further. Let's put straight to the motion let's put it straight to the vote, shall we? All those in favour, carried 7-0. Item 2.5, support at home fees for 2025-26. And I'll invite our Acting Director of Assets and Community, Ms. Simone Robinson, to talk to us about this one, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, this report outlines the revised unit prices for the delivery of the Support at Home program in line with the national median price benchmarking. The introduction of the Commonwealth's new Aged Care Act from the 1st of November is the key driver for these changes. The reforms remove the ability for council to recover overheads via package management fees, which has been the case previously, and instead we are required to now absorb all costs into the unit price. So this current pricing is our current pricing is significantly below the national benchmarks, and this new model will allow us to remain sustainable.
Thanks, Ms. Robinson. I have questions about this one. Councillor Murray.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. Just a quick one initially. It may just be a word that I don't know of, but in the officer recommendation, I believe there is a spelling error. Is it unit process? Could that just be
Prices?
prices, process,
Councillor Dawson.
unit prices? So if we could just have that amended, if we vote on it. I have a question regarding, it's my understanding that these come off the back of Commonwealth changes to home care packages, is that correct?
Through you, Mayor, that's correct. This is a Commonwealth reform to the Aged Care Act and to the structure for home care packages, which is now moving to Support at Home.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Councillor Taylor.
Through you, Mayor. So, Ms. Robinson, I was just interested to have further clarification on the kind contributions set by the Commonwealth, which is mentioned in the document. So how is that calculated in relation to the prices we've set? Is it additional or is it just make up part of that price?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. So the client contribution is applied to any clients that receive home services through what is currently home care package and will move to Support at Home after September 2024. Any clients already on a package previous to September 2024 will not require to be or will not be made to make client contributions. Those contributions levels are means tested. That means testing is done when clients are assessed for a home care package, and that will range, the means testing ranges from 5% up to 50% for self-funded pensioners, self-funded retirees. How that's applied is that will be a percentage of our fees that we charge towards the package. So these fees are charged towards a client's package and then they contribute above that.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Ms. Robertson, just one from me. I think one of the burning questions a lot of the recipients of these services will have is it going to cost me any more? So I hear what you say about what you've said, but is this something that they're going to feel personally that they're going to have to pay 30% more for their services that they currently receive, for example?
Through you, Mayor, for our Moyne Shire Council's current clients, there will be maybe one or two clients that may have to contribute to their fees. The large majority of our clients have all been on packages prior to September, so they'll be grandfathered across under the no worse off provisions in this, so they won't have to contribute while they remain on home care packages or Support at Home with the new model. There may be some adjustment to the level of service that clients receive with the prices going up. There'll be, it'll absorb the package amounts a lot quicker. But we have our staff that will work with clients to manage their needs across the level of their package, and where we are feeling that clients' needs are not being met,
we will assist them in getting reassessed and moving up towards a high level package.
Thank you. Any other questions? No, all right, well, we do need to deal with the opposite recommendation here that we endorse the new unit prices for services. You're happy to move that, Councillor Murray? Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Ryan. Thank you. Councillor Murray.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. It's publicly available if anyone in the community wanted to jump on and look at our agenda, but on the second page of this report, there's a table and it shows the current pricing structure for Moyne and the national median and what the increase is. And it's very evident that we were so far under the national median in nearly every category. Were we not to do this, we do run the risk of losing the service or it not being financially viable or sustainable. So while I recognise that these are some of our most vulnerable community members, we've been ensured that our officers, that our staff are well placed and ready to help navigate these changes. And for the vast majority, there's not going to be a huge out-of-pocket expense, if any. So this is something that I am in support of because it has to happen. So.
Thank you, Councillor Murray. Councillor Ryan.
Summed up perfectly by Councillor Murray. Thank you.
Lovely. Any other councillors who want to speak for or against? Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy to speak for. As Councillor Murray said, it's a tricky situation, but I think we're being quite fair and transparent about these fees, which we need to do. You know, it's a federal kind of increase that we're needing to meet, that we need to do in order to keep the service happening. So it's has to happen really. And yeah, I think the officers should be congratulated and the staff that, you know, liaise with this important, you know, vulnerable population to, you know, explain why and how that happens and if there's any changes to their services, because we know how important these services are.
Thank you. Any other councillors need to speak? If not, Councillor Murray as the mover.
Nothing further.
Item 2.5, we'll put that to the vote. Thanks. All those in favour, that is carried 7-0. Item 2.6, Koroit Theatre Options and Recommendations Report. And again, one for you to step us through, please, Ms Robertson.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, this report presents the Koroit Theatre Opportunities and Recommendations report. It was commissioned by the committee and delivered by Sandbox Strategy. The report considers the renewal of the heritage listed theatre as a community-led regionally significant cultural venue. The report outlines a staged approach over a 10-year period with integrated solutions for building upgrades, governance and activation. And there's low cost early wins, mid-term upgrades and long-term renewal. And the basis of that is for council then to seek funding to support some of these projects or all of these projects.
Sure. Thanks, Ms Robinson. Are there questions for this item? Councillor Lockett.
Thank you, Mayor. Great, very thorough report. My concerns, and I know that I'm asking this just for the community because I know that's one of the key concerns or questions they may have is regarding the cost. I think there's an estimated 9.6 million or something cost. We're not looking to roll that over the next 12 months, are we? Maybe up to a 10-year kind of, is that the kind of lifespan of the project or the plan, sorry?
So through you, Mayor, absolutely. The intent is that this is a long-term plan, much the same as a lot of our strategies. It assists us in applying for funding. It's in 3 stages. So the first here is immediate sort of shorter term costs, and that's estimated at around 70,000 before we move to those big sort of considerations down the track to the lifetime of the plan.
Other questions? No. So the recommendation before us is that we adopt the longer term Koroit Theatre Opportunities and Recommendations report. We have somebody who's prepared to move that. Councillor Taylor, thank you, and Councillor Lockett, second. Councillor Taylor.
Yes, I'm happy to move that this be adopted it's an important asset for Koroit, but it's also got its challenges because it is considered a heritage building because of its rarity as an original 1950s theatre. So there are definitely challenges there, and the fact that this is staged into it, I think we can start to improve the use of it by tackling TM1 first. So yes, I'm happy to move it.
Thank you, Councillor Taylor. Councillor Lockwood.
Thank you, Mayor. Well said by Councillor Taylor. It's a phenomenal building, and we recently had a tour of the building. We all had, the opportunity to have a good look at it. I've been to it many times over the years, and it's a wonderful hall and building. It's well used by the community. I think this document will help pave the way for it to grow and flourish as an asset in the Moyne Shire that not only the Koroit community, but maybe, touring events and things like that can use, because if you haven't seen inside there, it's definitely worth a look. I think some of the issues and challenges that, obviously the reports highlight is the acoustics and sound in their stage, and there'll be some, to use a council cliche, low-hanging fruit that should be ripened, picked and juiced and turned into a wonderful, as I said, to make the already well-functioning building flourish even better.
Thank you. Open up for other councillors who'd like to yes, Councillor Ryan.
Thanks through you, Mayor. I support this report in principle as it sets out a staged approach at a pace that matches our financial capacity. And that's the bit I want to make really clear, that it is in line with our financial capacity, and the work is not a given. It is tied to when we have funds available, and we'll prioritise that when the funds come through, but so the community know that this isn't going to be a short-term gain for this particular asset. It is a beautiful asset. We're very lucky to have it, but it does come with a cost to maintain it.
Thank you. Councillor Murray?
Go on the service anything.
No. Good. There's nobody else. I'll turn to you as the lead.
I'll have nothing further to add. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's put item 2.6 to the vote. All those in favour? That is carried 7-0. Item 2.7 is proposed cattle grid at Vickers Road in Panmure. And Ms Robinson, do you lead, please?
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, this report is presenting a request from the owners of Vickers Road Pastoral to install livestock grids on both sides of a proposed stock crossing on Vickers Road, Panmure. So the applicant owns land on both sides, and they want to install the grids to improve stock movement efficiency. This falls in line with our livestock underpass and grid policy, which sets out the guidelines for these structures.
Thank you. Okay, any questions? We did have an opportunity to ask earlier. Councillor Ross.
Would this be a first for Moyne Shire?
Through you, Mayor, yes, we don't currently have one of these cattle grids in Shire.
To test. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. So we have the officer recommendation that we approve the proposed cattle grid. So I'm seeking a mover of that, please. Councillor Ross, seconded. Councillor Murray, thank you. Councillor Ross.
Oh no, it's a test for Moyne, and subject to conditions, and we'll see how it goes. I'll be very interested.
Thank you. Councillor Murray.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. This isn't my area of expertise, so I am trusting the report and the officer's recommendation here, and the farmers in the room. We've had a bit of a chat about it. So as Councillor Ross says, we can test this and see how it goes. But yeah, happy to support it.
Thanks, Councillor Murray. Any other councillors want to speak for or against? No? Not? Do you have anything to sum up, Councillor Ross? No. Item 2.7, all those in favour, thanks. It's carried 7-0. Item 2.8, proposed memorial plaque at the Hexham Reserve. Ms Robinson.
Thank you. Councillors, this report is in response to a community-led request to install a new commemorative plaque on the pavilion at Hexham Rec Reserve. This is in memory of two influential local figures, David Wind and Geoffrey Irwin Stafford. So the original plaque was commemorating David, which was removed. We're not sure why that was removed.
and has led to the community really rallying to get that reinstalled. When they were considering that plaque, they also saw an opportunity to recognise text on the same plaque. The community has fully funded and manufactured a new replacement plaque, and we are coming to you because the plaque size is slightly outside of council's guidelines, and so just seeking support through the policy.
Sure, that helps explain it. Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Questions? Okay, do we have any councillor who's prepared to move the officer recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Murray. The seconder, Councillor Ryan. Councillor Murray.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. You know, the plaque was there, it was removed, and I think it's fitting that it should go back up. It's what the community want in their community, so happy to.
Councillor Ryan.
Yeah, through you, Mayor, similar to Councillor Murray, it recognises local heritage and local leaders and responds to a community request. Happy to support.
It's Councillor Ryan. Any other councillors who'd like to speak for or against? Well, I'd just like to congratulate the community for taking the initiative to do this. Very bad. I think that's great. So well done to them. Returning to you as the mover, Councillor Murray.
Nothing further, thank you.
Sure. So let's put that item to the vote. All those in favour? It's carried 7-0. Item 2.9. Annual financial report and performance statement for 2024 to 2025. Ms. Regent, I'll invite you to introduce this item to us, please.
Thank you, Mayor. So the purpose of this report is to present the 2024-25 annual financial report and performance statement for in-principle approval as recommended by the Audit and Risk Committee. The annual financial report and performance statement have been lodged with the Victorian Auditor General's Office and they've undertaken their review. Their comments have been incorporated into the final statements that are before you. Just a couple of highlights from us. So in terms of the surplus, council achieved a surplus of 10.5 million for 24-25 compared to the adopted budget, which projected a surplus of 6.3 million. So this is a favourable variance of 4.2 million. The key drivers for that include early receipt of a financial assistance grant of 5.8 million and some favourable non-recurrent capital grant income. In addition to that, you'll probably note in the report the capital works of 29.7 million and a completed percentage of 92% for those capital projects. This exceeds the previous year expenditure of 26 million and 90% completion. So this report is presented. The cash and investment balance at 30th of June totaled 20.2 million, an increase of 6 million compared to the prior year, primarily due to the early receipt of the financial grant of that 1 million. And the asset renewal and upgrade ratio, which is measured by comparing asset renewal and upgrade expenditure to depreciation, was 154%, which exceeded the prior 148.4% and obviously more than the target of 100%. So that's an increase as well. So this is presented for approval in principle, and the recommendation identifies 2 councillors to sign off on these documents and return to the Auditor General.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Regent. Councillors, any questions for Ms. Regent?
Yep.
Yes,
Thank you,
Councillor
Madam Mayor.
Williams.
On page 133, we discussed it in the briefing, 133, operating position, adjusted underlying result. The result for 2025, to me, looks like a minus 3.91%.
Is that something, Ms. Regent or Mr. Ralston? Is that something you could answer?
Yeah, through you, Mayor. So that is correct. So it is a negative position for that result for 25. which includes, so it's looking, backing out essentially the capital income, and also includes the loss on the carrying amount of assets disposed as well, which was a loss of around $7 million on that carrying amount. So taking that into account, that underlying deficit was about minus 3.3.
So $7 million is made up of what?
So that's made up of our road or infrastructure that we've capitalised during the year. So where we've rehabilitated new roads or bridges, footpaths, etc., on our capital works program. So in doing that accounting treatment, we dispose of the existing value of that asset and we capitalise new renewal projects.
So if we dispose of the old, replace it with the new, isn't the new worth more than the old?
That's correct.
So we're still down 3.9%.
In terms of that value of the value of the asset that was the underlying asset that we've disposed of has a value that is around that $7 million.
Right. So that 3.9% is a percentage of what total figure? Our total income for the year or just our assets?
No, it's looking at the income result. So it's a percentage of the underlying surplus, which is including or backing out the capital income over our underlying revenue. So it's a percentage of underlying surplus over underlying revenue.
Right. So, but our underlying surplus wasn't that high. So we're not going that well. For the basic.
Sorry, through you, Mayor. So this is looking at an accounting, I suppose, an accounting result, not a cash result or underlying surplus.
But we did do well with capital grants.
Absolutely, that's right. So this backs out any capital income. That's right.
Yeah. So without the capital grants, we'd be in trouble. Well, not only us, but most rural shires would be in trouble without that grant money. And going forward, we predicted to get the same amount or less.
Sorry, through you, Mayor. So, I mean, capital income, that we do rely heavily on recurrent grants and non-recurrent grants. And the non-recurrent are obviously tied to specific projects. But we have done well in the past with our capital program.
Last 12 months was good, but the 12 months before that was a lot less.
Yeah,
that was hard to predict.
Yeah, it is a bit hard to predict.
Yeah, because the government
certainly have done well in the
state and federal are not travelling that well. They could just cut that grant money in half, which means we've all got to tighten our purse strings. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ralston.
Any further questions, Mr. Ralston or Ms. Regent? That's the case. We have got a two-part officer recommendation there. Seeking a mover. Thank you, Councillor Murray. Seconded. Councillor Taylor. Thank you. Councillor Murray. Don't have anything to say. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you. Councillor Taylor. Would anyone else like to say anything for or against? No? I'm guessing you don't want to sum up either, Councillor Murray. No. Let's put item 2.9 to the vote. All those in favour? It's carried 7-0. Staying on all things financial, the draft long-term financial plan, item 2.10. Again, Ms. Regent, please, if you could introduce this.
Thank you, Mayor. So this report presents the draft long-term financial plan, 26 to 35, and recommends that the plan be released for community consultation. The council approves the financial plan be released for consultation for 3 weeks to gain comments and come back to the council in October for a decision regarding adoption of the long-term financial plan. This plan confirms that council is currently in a sound financial position. However, it also identifies a few challenges relating to things, increased cost pressures, rate capping, and continued reliance on those recurrent grants that we just talked about. The budget contains a strong focus on asset renewal, looking after community facilities and infrastructure that we have, and this is one of the themes to emerge during consultation with the community about the budget and the council plan. This remains the focus of the plan, balancing between renewable and capital works. The plan includes some new borrowings of 2.4 million for 26-27 for some major infrastructure renewal works. Compared to our position, go to the comparison. We're looking at, excuse me for a second. Yeah, we're looking at a better position going forward. We have presented the draft for adoption for consultation. Sorry, I'm just looking for my notes. With an improved surplus to allow us to go forward. The increased surplus projected is $7 million in the next, over the life of the plan over the next 10 years.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Regent. It's hard to imagine what might be happening next year, let alone 10 years' time. So interesting. Are there questions around this one? Councillor Dukas?
On page 187, it reads halfway down, the plan includes new borrowings of 2.4 million in 26-27 for major infrastructure renewal works. Is that the bridge or is that for other structures?
What do you mean? So that's this for the bridge. That's correct.
The Gibbs Street Bridge you're referring to in Port Fairy. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, it doesn't read that, does it? It says for major infrastructure renewal works. So, you know, that could mean anything. You could spend that on a road, which is more important than the bridge. You know, they've got another way into Port Fairy. Anyway, okay, that's it, as long as it's cleared up.
Thank you. Any other questions? I'll look.
Through. I think I know the answer to this, but the best way for the community to have their input is obviously we've got this 3-week window, is just to have a look, have a read, write in and send in their concerns. Is that the best way?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
So I assume this will be on the Engage website. It's on our on Moyne Shire's website.
Yes, yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so no other questions. We have got a recommendation there that we approve the draft long-term financial plan to be released for community consultation for 3 weeks. Seeking a mover. Thank you. Councillor, thank you, Councillor. Always going to call you Councillor Lloyd. Councillor Ross. Seconded, please. Councillor Lockett. Thank you. Councillor Ross.
No, just happy to push it out there as a draft, and anybody that wants to read it, do write in or website with their concerns, please.
Absolutely encourage that. Thank you. Councillor Lockett.
Reserve right, Ben.
Thank you. Any other councillors who'd like to speak for or against? Councillor Ryan.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm speaking against the motion. I refer to page 207 of the agenda. The plan assumes 0 staffing growth over 10 years. While this produces a neat financial, it's really not realistic of the local government context, even for low growth shires such as Moyne. Some of my key concerns include new compliance obligations are emerging all the time. For example, child safe standards and psychosocial safety regulations, which inevitably add to workload. Low growth often masks the fact of an ageing community, which increases demand for accessible infrastructure, aged care support and community health initiatives. We manage a large asset base, which has been highlighted in our recent State of the Assets report, and renewal needs are escalating and will require resourcing to do so. And while digital systems and outsourcing may create some efficiencies, they cannot fully offset growing service demands. Relying on this assumption risks under-resourcing and staff burnout. Moyne's workforce are already operating under higher demands. To assume no staffing growth over the next decade undermines staff wellbeing, given their already high job demands and the need for clear, sustainable roles. Without additional resourcing, we risk stretching employees beyond their limits, a lack of role clarity and increasing burnout. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor. Any other councillors who'd like to speak for or against this motion? No. Oh, yes, sorry, councillor Murray.
Through you, Mayor. Very similar to councillor Ryan, I did want to speak against for similar reason. It's page 17 of the long-term financial plan, which is 207 of the agenda, around the employment numbers being capped for 10 years. I absolutely support and understand council's responsibility to be financially responsible and find savings wherever possible. But I really struggle to support a 10-year plan that locks us into a zero increase of FTE or full-time employment. We all know that staff are the heart of council's ability to deliver services, and without proper resourcing, we simply cannot meet the needs of our community. And to assume that service demand will remain static for 10 years is, in my opinion, completely unrealistic. Freezing FTE will only place additional strain on existing staff, leading to burnout, reduced morale, and ultimately a decline in the quality of the services we provide. Nowhere in this long-term financial report does it actually state that we will be reducing our services to counter the static staffing, which is my concern. And good financial management is about balancing efficiencies with sustainability. So undermining our workforce capacity is not, in my opinion, a sustainable saving. It is a false economy that risks high staff turnover, increased recruitment costs, and poorer community outcomes in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Murray. Any other councillors like to speak for or against? No. You reserved your right, councillor Roberts.
Thank you, Mayor. I am speaking in favour of the motion, but I agree with councillor Ryan and Murray. You know, it's a draft, so we're putting it out for a draft. So, councillors, I think we can flesh this out more during this process, and there's no reason why we can't do that. So, I agree with the comments and share the concerns, and glad they highlighted them because, yeah, 10 years is a long time. Mayor Foster said, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone in 10 years, but you know, it's really important that we, you know, flesh these documents out well. So great for highlighting those concerns. Thank you.
Thanks, councillor Lockett. Councillor Ross, I'll return to you as the mover of this motion.
Yeah, I think everybody should, I mean, it's not perfect and 10 years is a long time, but support this draft plan, and it gives the councillor officers or councillors something to do to nut out where we are going in the next 10 years. Because some of those figures, and they're not quite right, but we need to sit down and flush out just where we're going and how much cash we've got. That's all it's about. I'd be asking them to support pushing the draft out. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Ross. Okay, with that said, let's put item 2.10 to the vote. All those in favour, thank you. So that is councillor Taylor, councillor Lockett, councillor Foster, councillor Dukas, yes?
Yes.
Yep. And councillor Ross. All those against? Councillor Ryan and councillor Murray. Thank you. So that is passed 5-2. Item 2.11 is the monthly financial report, bringing the sphere much closer in for August 2025. Ms. Regent, I'll ask you to introduce this for us.
Thank you, Mayor. As you'll see, this report informs council of financial performance and position of the organisation at the end of the reporting period, that is August. This report is provided to be received by council information. So just a bit of a snapshot, I guess, at this point in time. The surplus for the period ending August was 21.3 million. This includes the recognition of the total rates and charges that have been brought to account in the month of August, 28.9 million, that are due in 4 instalments over the year, as you'll be aware. The operating results for August, that one. The cash investment total is 14.7 million, down from the prior year of 15.3, noting that the first rate instalment of approximately 7.2 million is due at the end of September. The capital expenditure was 2.3 million. So 8% of the total capital works program compared to 2.6 or 8% of the works in the previous works program in the previous year. And there are a couple of small variations noted in there as well in the report.
Thank you, Ms Regent. Chance here for questions from councillors. Not hearing any. So-
Thank you,
yes, Councillor
thank you,
Lucas.
Madam Mayor. Page 217, under rates in arrears, we've gone from August 24, 570, July 25, 668, and now August 25 to 1200, nearly double. So, it's got under the heading debt collection. What are the chances of collecting that amount of money?
Ms Regent, is that something you would answer, or Mr Ralston?
All three of me. So I guess it just the first thing I suppose just to note that the rate of arrears actually compared to August last year has actually slightly gone down. So that's probably the first thing to note. In terms of the debt collection, we're collecting that. Certainly, there is financial hardship out there. So we understand ratepayers are doing it hard, and we certainly, we're accommodating in terms of making payment arrangements, that type of helping out those arrangements. So, and we're ultimately trying to reduce that debt, arrears debt. So I suppose that's where we're aiming for in terms of collecting the whole lot. It's going to take some time to reduce that down.
So, under the heading debt collection, I mean, that means court action by a debt collector.
Through you, that's not at that point, not at this point in time, not court order. So this is actually just referral to our.
All right, so we haven't got to the part where we're going to get rid of that. Right, no, that's good, because I think we need to give those that are struggling a chance. That's what I'm trying to get at. Give people a chance. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Dugas. Are there any other questions? If not, the recommendation is that we receive and note the financial report. Anyone prepared to move that? Thank you, Councillor Ross. Seconded, Councillor Murray. Next, Councillor Ross.
No, happy to support that. And early in the year, we'll put it in a folder and follow it closely.
Yep, we will. Thank you. Councillor Murray, seconder.
Nothing further, thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillors? For or against? No? Coming back to you.
Thank you. Nothing more.
Let's put that to the vote. All those in favour? That is carried 7-0. Item 2.12 is the S5 instrument of delegation to our CEO. Ms Regent, could you please explain this one for us?
Thank you, Matt. So this instrument of delegation from council to CEO allows the CEO and staff to undertake their duties and functions within council. The report provides that delegation should be regularly updated to reflect any legislative changes and conditions and limitations relating to the CEO's functions. Just to note, this updated delegation identifies clearly the exclusion of GST that it previously included in the financial delegation limits and aligns with our procurement provisions as well. The updated delegation also complies with updated templates that ensured compliance with relevant legislation as well. So as you'll see, the officer recommendation has 4 parts required to effectively adopt the delegation.
Thanks, Ms Regent. Okay, questions? We're all pretty comfortable with that one. Comfortable? All right, in that case, I will look for a mover. Councillor Murray jumped right in with a seconder being Councillor Lockett. Thank you. Councillor Murray.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. It's very procedural and it's needed so that the officers can do their roles. So.
Thank you. Councillor Lockett. Any other councillors who'd like to speak on this one? No sum up from you, Councillor Murray. Let's put item 2.12 to the vote. All those in favour, that is carried 7-0. We move now to the mayor and councillor activities, which are set out there before you. Are there any questions, or does anybody to make comment about their very busy month? No. So item 3.2 is the council notice of motion, and there is none this month. Item 3.3, general matters, and I do think we have some general matters. Councillor Murray.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. If I could find the page I just want to highlight that we've got a couple of surveys currently. We need community feedback. The Engage Moyne website is where you can go to take these surveys. I think there's one for the Koroit. I did have it all up in front of me, but it's gone. So the Koroit Youth space, the Gibb Street Bridge, and the Indigenous Reflection statue for down at East Beach. We need community input. We do look at them. We look at every single response, and it really does inform the decisions that we make in this chamber. So please jump on and take those surveys. And that's all from me.
Thanks, Councillor Murray. General matters. Thanks,
Thanks.
Councillor Lockett.
Thanks, Mayor. I've got a 3 to read out. It was Are You OK Day recently. Can't remember the exact date. It was a couple of weeks ago, I think. But it's Mental Health Month in October, which I think it's Mental Health Day every day, really, isn't it? Like our physical health, our mental health is just important. So just check in with someone. That's all you got to do. Just, you know, if you notice any difference with people that you work with or you're friends with or your neighbours, just check in with them. There you go, because it's really important. And sometimes just asking someone if they're okay, it feels nice. If someone checks in on you, it's a nice feeling. So I think it's an important thing to do as a society, is how we look after each other. A big shout out to the committee and the volunteers for a very literary weekend. Last weekend was very well attended. Amazing authors from all across the country. It was exceptional. I was unfortunately away, but it was very well attended, and it's a great event which keeps growing each year. The Spring Music Festival is coming up October 10th to the 12th. If you've never been, check it out. It's a world-class event. It's phenomenal. It's very well attended. This year they've got lots of free events as well, so make sure you get across to that. Historically, the Spring Music Festival has been kind of mainly classical music. They've really diversified their genres of music that they're offering. The theme this year is mosaic, so it's, you know, 1,000 things broken and putting back together. So it's a really, really cool theme. But the diversity of the program, jump on and have a check. There's, you know, might be a world-class percussionist, then there'll be opera, then there'll be, it's very, very different, very diverse. So check it out. If you've never been, it's worth going to. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Lockett. What's going on? Any other general matters?
You won.
Yes.
Very, very important.
Go ahead.
Koroit are in the grand final again.
They are.
So there is no doubt about it. Might resume. They might go for 8 in a row this time. Instead of 7.
Very important. That
All
one.
three now.
They got beat by South.
Division 1 netballers.
Division 1 netballers, pop there. And who else we got? Other teams?
Good luck to
Good luck to
all
all.
Moyne
Yeah.
sporting teams
Sporting teams.
competing in grand finals this weekend.
Great.
All right.
Yes, Councillor Lockett.
Sorry,
Miranda.
I did forget the Seniors Festival coming up. Put a twinkle in your wrinkle. So that's a phrase I come up with. No, I might get in trouble over that, but I think it's a great little phrase about positive aging. My other favourite quote about aging is "Age is an attitude," which Keith Richards often says. So there's amazing events across the Shire in Mortlake, Port Fairy, Koroit, the main kind of spots where there's events. There's weed twirling and all sorts of cool stuff happening, supporting positive aging across the Shire.
Very important. Thank you.
Miranda won the grand final.
So important. Thank
I
you.
should have made mention of that, but they're winning that many. It's sort of just another day in the park.
Thank you, Councillor Dugas. What we think of any other sporting teams? We're on to urgent business. I don't believe we have any urgent business. So over to you, Mr. Epstein, the CEO meeting schedule and activities report. If you could step us through that.
Thank you, Mayor, for the opportunity to provide an update. So another busy month. I'd like to start with the wind damage going back to the 29th of August, which came after our last OCM. So many folks across the Shire would well remember that. Lots of fallen trees, building, fencing damage, signage right across the Shire, and a lot of folks without power. So our council crews and contractors worked hard on the cleanup, but I guess just as importantly, I'd like to, on behalf of the community, express appreciation to the likes of the SES, the CFA, and lots of community volunteers who stepped up with their response at that time. So I'd like to start there. Also, a big thank you to the Mortlake Kinder. They had a wonderful initiative recently with the Buy a Hay fundraiser. It exceeded all expectations, and just a couple of weekends ago, raised over $8,000 for hay donations to primary producers. So thank you for all who donated to that cause up here, particularly around Mortlake. So it was a wonderful initiative out of our kinder. So well done to all the educators there and families. Over the last month, we also had a visit from the Australian Energy Infrastructure Commissioner, Tony Marr, and the Assistant Commissioner, Carolyn Francis. And they came to Moyne Shire and had a tour of the entire Shire, looking at renewable energy projects from wind farms, battery, solar panels, solar storage, I should say, and transmission lines. We met a lot of community members, representatives, businesses. So a shout out to those on that day who supported that engagement. It was a really important update for the Commissioner around all that has happened over the last couple of decades with renewable energy and what's to come in the future. Really important engagement, I guess, with Canberra for Moyne Shire. So a really positive day and feedback from them for what we took them through. Ultimately, we're talking about those cumulative impacts on communities and the economy of the renewable sector, and really opportunities to enhance community engagement and benefit programs moving forward. So really pleased with that engagement. Just on roads quickly, so our road resteel program for the new financial year is in planning. Lots of site assessments underway at this time of the year. Obviously, weather drives a lot of that. And our unsealed sheeting program is now in progress. A couple of recently completed roads include the Castle Carey Road and also the bridge approaches into the Hopkins Fall Road bridge. There's some minor site cleanup work that may still be taking place there. Early years, our enrolments at 371 direct in council facilities are up 7% year on year. If we were to add routes at Garvock operating out of a council-owned building there, that takes it to a 16% increase in early years enrolments year on year. So that's an important element of our service to the community there that will continue to progress. I'd like to also just mention the Great Victorian Bike Ride. So that passes through Moyne in quite an extensive way. From the ride is from the 24th through to the 28th of November. It'll start in Mortlake before heading towards Koroit for a couple of nights, and then eventually over to Peterborough. So the ride then goes through to Corangamite, eventually ending up in Camperdown at the end of the week. So a lot of community folks, particularly around Mortlake, Koroit and through to Peterborough, will be looking to get well involved with that big occasion. Last couple of things from me. Just a shout out to those across our team who have been promoting the Sunflower program, which is all about hidden disabilities. So Moyne's one of the first councils, certainly in our region, to sign up to the program. And it's all about recognising those who might need a little more understanding. And it's all part of our Disability Inclusion and Access Plan direct actions. Just on some of our key projects, so the Gibb Street Bridge in Port Fairy. So there's quite comprehensive community consultation that's now commencing, as mentioned before, around the Engage Moyne survey that can be done. The design and tender planning is now underway. So we're seeking to issue that around November, December of this year. And officers have been working closely with other councillors to gain some understanding around the learnings had from other bridges that have been built in recent years around our region. So it's been really important conversations there. Croydon Streetscape. So the plans will adopt the feedback that we received from community drop-in sessions on the 27th of August. There was over 30 people who attended. There's been the other traditional forms of engagement we've had there as well. So the works for the Croydon Streetscape kick off in mid-October. And lastly, as mentioned, the Croydon Youth Space Landscape Design, you can get on to Engage Moyne and give us some feedback there. There's other community consultations happening there as well. Snap, Send, Solve continues to be really well used. So we had 55 of requests in August. That seems to be above 50 every month. So a big thank you to those that are contacting us that way. And a big month working through those and resolving them. So we had 41 actions in the last month. So a great job from our team to address those, and only 8 reallocated to other relevant agencies. So it seems those that are using Snap, Send, Solve are finding ways to identify the right agency to pass that request through to. So that's a really good sign of that tool. And lastly, I'd just like to acknowledge both Ed Small and Edith Farrell. Ed was our Director of Corporate and Governance Services, and Edith, our Director of Assets and Community. Both, wonderful servants of Moyne over recent years. Lots of change has happened in Moyne, and both have delivered outstanding results, led their teams really well. And I think a lot of the benefits we see today are from things that both Ed and Edith planted with the team back when they were in their roles. So big thanks to them, and I want to wish them well for the future. So that's all for me. So happy to take any questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edelstein. Do we have questions for Mr. Edelstein at all?
Madam Mayor, yeah, I've got a few questions, but they probably suit Ms. McNamara. What have we got here? Strategic planning. We got Amendment C72, Moyne Futures Land Use Strategy, and what's the other one? C77. Can we have a quick update of where we're going with that, please?
Mayor. Thank you, Councillor Dukas. They probably do have they're at different stages and relate to different matters. It might be a good idea for us to bring into workshop a more thorough update for councillors very soon, if that suits.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Mortlake South Wind Farm. When are we going to get a noise report, a post-construction noise report that's, I suppose, legitimate? Because they haven't stopped working on the wind farm, so I take it they haven't done a legitimate or legal noise report, or have they?
Ms. McNamara, are you in a position to answer that without notice?
Take that on notice.
Mayor, if I can take that on notice.
Yeah, can. Okay. And with the Woolsthorpe wind farm, construction proposed to start shortly. Well, it should have been started going by this. We received an email from Hamish Cummings some time ago and from Paul Lewis. I think they came to you.
They did.
Can you? Oh, I don't know about the first one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Where are we with that?
So we have written to the Minister, Ms. McNamara. Would you like to fill Councillor Dukas in there?
That's okay, through you, Mayor. We are writing to the Minister on behalf of Mr. Cumming and Mr. Lewis, relaying their inquiries. Once we hear back from the department or the Minister's office, we'll be definitely keeping councillors and both residents informed.
Thank you. Any further questions, Councillor Dukas?
Yeah, the query on page 273 with the best proposals. So if we take Tyrone battery energy storage system, talks about the project will have a storage capacity of, the way I read it, 200 megawatts to 400 megawatt hours. Is that the way it reads? Or are they going to have a 200 or a 400, or just somewhere in between?
Ms. McNamara?
Through you, Mayor, I'm sorry, I've lost my page.
Well, you can take that on notice and see you next week.
That's okay, it's just not loading up very well for me.
That's all right. Next time we should be furnished with paper copies and you won't have to worry about that.
Yeah, anything further, councillor Deeds?
Oh, well, someone else can have a go. Why should I ask all the questions?
There are no more questions. I'll thank Mr. Everstein for his very comprehensive report
Thank you.
for the last one.
Yep.
And
Can we wrap it up?
there being no further business, I will close this meeting at 3:30 PM and I thank councillors and officers for your attendance today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Michael.
Come on, I know. We saw you turn it off.